as you guys can see behind me today, we are doing 10 building hacks and tricks. What's going on? If you guys are brand new, this is UMeister238. I usually do building tutorials and whatnot, but today we are doing some building hacks with the new blocks. And if you guys are brand new, consider liking and subscribing if you guys like this content. With that said, very short intro. Let's just go ahead and jump into the very first idea. So my very first idea is using the new blocks we have with the iron trapdoors. Well, that's not new, but using the lightning rods and all this acacia texture and some copper involved, we created a very steampunk-esque kind of a hallway. And it's only a quarter of a hallway, not even a full half. But I think using these combination of blocks with the acacia and the lightning rods, specifically we use the lightning rods for a lighting source, so for kind of a steampunk kind of lamp, along with a kind of awning that sits over our chair in the middle of the hallway. But using these colors, I think that the acacia actually goes really well with the lightning rods, and which is saying something, because usually I typically hate acacia. I usually absolutely despise it, but man, does it look cool when we're doing this steampunk aesthetic. And then in a lot of steampunk builds, when I was looking it up, we use this black and red checkering kind of on the floor. So that's another detail I added. But with that said, that is already the first idea covered. Let's jump into the next one. So already moving on to the lightning rod. I don't know if a lot of Minecraft YouTubers have covered this or not, but I think the lightning rods look really good for some piping. And using these industrial blocks, the copper blocks and the rusty copper blocks and whatnot, it can create a really cool industrial sort of piping that you see on the outside of factories and that sort of thing. And it just, I don't know, just adding some green copper every once in a while, just maybe actually adding a few extra blocks there, here and there, it gives you this very rustic, very industrial look, which is very, very cool. I like that a lot. With the cauldrons, we can get some dripping with the glass stains, so it looks like we're pumping out some lava, and then incorporating the copper ore around too just adds a bit more aesthetic too. And then even the floor, using the tuff and the basalt, it creates this very gritty, very industrial-like floor. So this is just kind of an idea, using this on the outside of factories and whatnot to give it more of an industrial feel. And then moving on to my next idea, using the copper blocks and the lightning rods and whatnot, I thought we could create a little bit of a pathway just going across with the acacia trapdoors and everything. It's not the greatest, and some of these ideas are not the greatest. This is just a lot of me experimenting with it, so it's not me trying to make a finished product or anything, but just placing down some ideas. And it does create a very cool railing. I bet you there's a lot more unique ways you could do the fencing and everything with these lightning rods now that we have them. Make sure with acacia too, adding the orange texture really goes well together with the lightning rods. So this idea, again, it's not totally, I guess you could say it's not totally kind of fine-tuned, but it is a nice idea, and it's a good idea to keep in mind when building new fences or building new kind of exterior walls or something along those lines. Now this next one I really do like with the steampunk aesthetic that we're going for. Again, this one does it very well, I think. And using these end rods, or the lightning rods, I keep wanting to say end rods because we've only ever had end rods before. We can create these nice tables, and you can see we've got some cake with a little candle right there, and the red banners. I think the red colors, when I was looking this up, the red really goes well in the steampunk kind of thing, and the yellows and everything too, just because it's a rustic culture. So I think the red and the oranges fit really well with this. But as you can see, we've incorporated so many details into this little space, with the chains hanging from the ceiling, some bells and some lanterns, and then the copper going on the sides to encase this little bit of a building. It's a really cool design for a steampunk kind of dining hall. And these tables, I absolutely love them, with the red banners hanging down, the trapdoors, and the copper rods. I don't know why, but these little details go together really well. And yeah, I'm so excited for this, because now we have a steampunk mode that we can do steampunk builds, which is just absolutely insane. I love that they're adding these new types of variations of blocks to Minecraft. And this next idea I actually did see in someone else's YouTube channel, so I'm not going to take credit for it, but I thought it was a really cool idea, with all the foliage and all the plants using these different colored candles to kind of create just a bunch of pink flowers on the cactuses. And real cactus or cacti in real life have a bunch of flowers on them usually, and it just adds so much color. Using these candles, you can just add a different variation of amount of candles, and along with the flowers and everything, you can get this really nice scene with the river going through maybe a desert land. Maybe this is an oasis section of a full desert. But using these candles and being able to place them in certain amount of quantities is just so cool. One of my favorite features of Minecraft are these candles. I'm still trying to think of ideas on how to incorporate them into more builds and stuff. But just the aesthetic of the candles, they look so nice, and the fact that you can place down many of them on one surface is just really cool. And then you can even light them using flint and steel, and this is just something we've needed for a long time. it adds so much more light source varieties and light source, just abilities to add a bunch of different light to your Minecraft builds. And then further continuing with the candle idea, now that we have different colors of candles and everything, we can have a lot more different aesthetics of builds and whatnot. So over here on the left side, you can see we've got more of a castle-like build with some gray carpets and just a regular candle. I do like this regular candle texture too. It's a little bit different from all the colors, and I think that's really cool. I do like how they did that. But continuing, we've got this more of a gothic, more of a dark, sinister looking build with the purples and the blacks. I really like the purples and blacks going together when I'm doing kind of a gothic, cathedral-like build. I think the purples fit in really well. But moving on, we've got this one. We even used some calcite mixed in with the polished diorite as well. And this is kind of an angelic feel to it. You know, we got the gold and the white, and it's a very pure color. The gold and the white together kind of makes you feel like you're in a heavenly place. Moving on, we've got the steampunk aesthetic as well, using the black and red checker like we did before, and then using some copper and acacia wood, red candles and whatnot. I think, again, just the steampunk things, I'm so excited about steampunk builds. I'm really, really excited to see what you guys, Minecrafters, are going to start building with this sort of stuff. But that's just such a cool detail. And then lastly, we've got more of an Egyptian kind of feel with the natural greens and the yellows and the whites and a bunch of sand, and even using some of the end bricks to kind of texture up the sandstone. This is a very nice feel for it as well. But different candles do give off different atmospheres, and that's a really cool detail that we now have. And then continuing with the aesthetic of the different candles and the different colored candles, we can create a ton of different chandeliers, which I'm not the greatest at the chandeliers. These didn't turn out particularly great, but it's just kind of, again, it's kind of a working idea, just some ideas I had that I thought I would jot down and share with you guys. But over here, using the castle one, I just have a very classic 4 fence post candles with the chain and just the regular candles. Over here, I tried to do more gothic with the spikes of the black pane going down. Comment down below, by the way, which one of these ideas out of these 10 are your absolute favorite. I'm always interested to hear what you guys like the most. But continuing with the angelic one, I used more glass than I did anything else, and some chain and the trapdoors, trying to keep a very white and gold aesthetic to match the heavenly tone that we get over here. Steampunk, I went back to the end rods. It's not nearly as good as my original light design over there that I had with lamps and everything, but it's still alright with the acacia trapdoors and the orange kind of texture that we're going with in the end rod, hanging this lantern or the chandelier from this top. And then lastly, we have the Egyptian feel kind of candles with the green candles and the birch fence and the in-stone brick. Oh my gosh, I'm running out of air here from talking too much. But yeah, I just create some different atmospheres, and it adds a lot more variety with the candles. So let's move on to our next idea though, other than just the atmosphere. Which my next idea, I guess, is really my only kind of build hack or build idea or whatever. But we do have some ice cream stands. And the way we got this too, this is a very new feature. If we get our cauldrons out and then we go ahead and get snow, we want this powder snow buckets. We can actually put this down and get this powder snow in a cauldron, which is so cool. Super new feature. There are some videos explaining the new features if you guys want to check them out. I'll put a link down to one of them that I watched below. But using this and the candles on top, I have created ice cream machines, $2 a cone. We can use the string with the carpets and the banners and everything to create these nice little ice cream stands. And in the back, I even used a grindstone to create a sort of wheel. So this is a very cool feature, ice cream stands using the different candles and stuff. I don't know why. Every time I look at these candles though, I think of like an ice cream stick or like a popsicle or something like that. And so I thought that'd be cool to incorporate into this actual ice cream stand. And then maybe if this wasn't even a shop for your survival world or whatever, you could put barrels underneath and then just sell candles, and you could just call them ice cream cones or something. But I thought this was a nice, this is the only actual build hack, but I think it was still a cool build hack nonetheless. And then lastly, this one's not even a build hack at all, but it is using Snowier, or the powder snow bucket thing. If you get these, and the way you get them too, by the way, if I should have probably told this, you just put a cauldron outside when it's snowing, and the snow will eventually fill this up, and you can use your bucket to grab it and then place it down like so. But I will say, this is a really cool idea. If you're doing some build that has a bunch of white in it, or just any build in general, I've noticed something very awesome about this. Let me go ahead and put myself in survival, and we'll fall down. And as you can see, as long as you put slabs by so that you can actually get out of the powdery snow, you don't take any fall damage. This is so cool. It's kind of like slime blocks or honeycomb blocks, except now you can fall down from as high as you want and you won't get hurt by it. I'm gonna go ahead and make myself just a little bit taller and see how high we can go without dying. And I'm pretty sure we can actually go from an infinite height and not take damage, which is so cool about this. As you can see, I'm at 186 blocks, and let's go ahead and put myself in survival, and we'll see if we survive. We're gonna fall straight into that snow, and Yeah, we're totally fine. I haven't tested it with thousands of blocks and everything yet, but that is such a cool detail, such a cool thing you can add in your survival bases or whatnot when you're trying not to take fall damage. What a cool feature. I absolutely love that. But with that said, that is actually my 10 kind of building ideas or building hacks done. If you guys did like this video, again, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe tell your friends about it too so we can keep growing our audience. But thank you guys again so much for all the support I've been getting. Been getting a lot of really nice comments and very helpful comments too on some of my old builds or my newer builds. So thank you for that. And I think that's it, really. I don't have much else to say. I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever that's going to be. And comment down here below your favorite idea. Which one of these was your favorite? For me personally, mine was the steampunk one over here that I did with this hallway. I think this is one of the coolest things I've built in a long time. I just love the texturing and the new details and the new style architecture of building. So very, very cool. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll see you in the next one, whatever that's going to be. Don't forget to, I guess just comment down below your favorite idea one more time, and I'll see you guys soon. Ciao!